Over the last century, social homogeneity and social heterogeneity have alternatively been referred to as necessary requirements of any democratic politics. As far back as the late 20s, German legal theorist Hermann Heller stated that no political democracy would be possible without a pre-existent homogeneity of the social field. Much more recently, Ernesto Laclau has claimed quite the opposite, while discussing his theory of populism. Social heterogeneity of democratic demands would be the very condition of any democratic politics. As I will briefly argue, by comparing these two approaches, one might draw the conclusion that a third one is required to further improve our comprehension of democratic life. Modern politics has been emancipative politics. That is, politics aiming at establishing private and public autonomy of the people. Wherever someone was exercising power over the people eventually arose and laid claim to sovereignty by yelling at the world, "Nos sumus, nos existimus," we do exist. At its core, here is then the structure of modern emancipative politics, the reappropriation of the people, by the people, for the people. How can any subject affirm and posit itself where nothing before was announcing it? As a matter of fact, this question is the one ever lurking behind modern politics. This question is that which undermines every political adjustment and stability, opening into modern emancipative progressive history. What legitimates us to identify ourselves as we, the people, or the collective subject of political emancipation. Now, what I suggest to call political grammars are the different ways this question has been treated so as to ground modern political discourse. In this perspective, political grammars should not be confused with political discourses. Now, to explain the difference between political grammar and political discourse, one might say that the latter, political discourse, is the way political articulations are affirmed, and the former, political grammar, is the way people listen to their own affirmations. While listening to a given political discourse, people are often unable to recognize this or that articulation as a consistent part of the discourse. By listening, therefore, people make use of underlying grammars, legitimating some articulations and delegitimating others. To this effect, political grammars are like filters of political discourses. Those filters change the people into one people who is able to say we. We are the people who, being able to listen to the same language at the grammatical level, are able to speak the same language at the discursive level. Any process of collective subjectification based on modern political grammars primarily opposes the people to someone or something, without supposing any preliminary identity of the people. Modern political subjectification always tends to emancipate the people from someone or something by moving the people against someone or something. Thanks to this antagonistic move, the people become a self-emancipating subject. While presently affirming itself at the discursive level, the subject posits itself by listening to its own previous and presupposed being at the grammatical level. Yet the structural gap remains wide open between speaking and listening, or between discourse and grammar. On the one hand, the subject articulates and speaks out its existence at the discursive level. On the other hand, the subject has to presume and to listen to its very existence at the grammatical level. From my perspective, political grammars represent the various political positions taken by collective subjects inside the general structure of modern subjectivity.
Aparece la idea de gramática contrapuesta a la idea de discurso. Esta me parece una contraposición sumamente sugestiva y también puedo decir, si llegué a entender cabalmente lo que dice Davide, que la expresión gramática tiene distintos tipos de definiciones o de aproximaciones en el texto de Davide. Cuando digo sí lo llegué a entender adecuadamente, no es para suponer que el que comenta sabría algo de antemano y el escritor del trabajo habría fallado en alguna de sus definiciones. Está claramente aseverado aquí. Es una propuesta de investigar sobre un concepto. Por lo tanto, encuentro que tiene varias dimensiones ese concepto. Una de ellas es la escucha. A mí me parece que yo por lo menos debería leer otros trabajos de Davide, o Davide dar una conferencia más larga, me parece sumamente sugestivo. El discurso, a diferencia de la gramática, tiene una posibilidad articuladora que se daría como si dijéramos en una superficie no vinculada al inconsciente. Flota la idea de inconsciente permanentemente del trabajo, por lo tanto la cita al clásico trabajo de Freud, de la psicología de las masas, está muy presente aquí. Antes que aparezca el discurso, y esa es la deficiencia o la observación que Davide le hace a Ernesto, como si le faltara una cuota suplementaria de inconsciente, que Davide llama la escucha, que es los pueblos escuchan, se constituye el nivel de pueblo a través de una escucha,